Last Friday night, I got to see Superman in IMAX, 7:30 main showing. I am a lifelong fan of Superman. Was it any good? Let's do it. Welcome back, it's Rich. So Superman 2025, what did I think of this? God, this is really tricky to review. It really is. I've had to sit on this and think about it quite hard. It's not an easy one. And I was there, IMAX, Friday night, release night, 7:30. Everybody's in. Packed theatre. It is the place to watch it. And there's a lot of people my age that grew up with Christopher Reeve back in the 80s. He was the Superman for us. He has that kind of regal, upstanding quality, that last beacon of hope for humanity. He can be very serious, a little bit of humour now and then. He's got a smile about him when it's the right time to do that. But he's also a bit of a mystery as well. You've got Lois trying to uncover things from him, and he's still a bit of an unknown, but he's just somebody that people look to. He's a hope, and he rescues kids and pets and whatever it may be. And 1 and 2 are just utter perfection for me. There are silly moments in there, I agree. But Superman, Christopher Reeve, he's the one. You then get Brandon Routh that came as Superman Returns. That film came out the day my daughter was born, and I raced to the cinema after she was born, couldn't stay at the hospital, and sat there grinning thinking, I'm a new dad, and I'm watching a brand new Superman film. And it was a great memory and moment that day for me. It's not quite the film that I wanted. I liked it. I liked a lot of the scenes and bits in it, and some of the action was great. But it was also a little bit of a soppy love story the whole way through, just a bit too much for me. And I thought Lex's plans, played by Kevin Spacey, were a little bit wacky with the whole black Kryptonian-looking rocks and landscape that he was wanting to build as beachfront property. But whatever it is. Neither of the Lexes in either of those films have really been particularly threatening to Superman, especially in the first film. It's more they create a chaos that Superman has to deal with, rather than Lex himself being a problem. We then get the Henry Cavill films and the Zack Snyder Justice Leagues, for example. And I think he looks great. I think the suit of Henry Cavill is fantastic. We got rid of the red trunks, and it's got a dark look to it, which I quite like, that really dark blue, especially the scene of the broad shoulders when he's walking through the courthouse. I think that looks fantastic. But that's a very, very serious, gritty and dark film. It has a dark, muted colour palette to it. Everything's much more like the real world serious, a bit more like the, let's say, the Dark Knight Batman films compared to Tim Burton's Batman films with Jack Nicholson as the Joker. Very different looking films, both set in a kind of real world area. But the original Batman is a bit more like the original Superman. Zack Snyder's version, very different and quite hard to top, I think. But I still think Christopher Reeve is a better embodiment of the character of Superman. I don't really care who plays him, or what his costume looks like, what the S symbol looks like, which has been a bit of a talk and controversy with the new David Corenswet Superman. But here he is, David Corenswet, portraying the character that I grew up and loved, making this much more difficult to talk about. And to sit there and absorb the film without just being super excited at everything you see and trying to unpick it and put it together as you're watching it. It's not easy, and I need to watch it again. But here we go. This Superman is so completely different. Where do you start? It's real world, but in a more just normal people. So even Superman himself, the whole film is pushing, and like a lot of the YouTubers have said, he's the hope of humanity. He's there to save people. He's got heart and he's got kindness, and he has. It shines through. He has got that. But in a different way to Christopher Reeve. He's not got that kind of majestic, regal kind of presence. He's not really a mystery in any sense at all. This is starting Superman when he's been some years into being Superman. So there is no backstory. There's no explanation for anything. Just some short words at the beginning of the film that are displayed on screen, just explaining that he's been around for some time. We have metahumans being like you get in the CW universe, such as Flash, Arrow, and all your villains of the week. That kind of thing. Not those characters, but other superpowered beings there. And that's one of the things that straight away started to strike me, is that the original films, and even Superman Returns, for example, it's just that character. So you have our usual population of Earth that we all live in now, and then this one mega-powered alien that's supposed to be this good hope for humanity comes to Earth, and he stands out amongst everybody in the entire planet. And something's lost there with the new film in that he has sidekick people, kind of friends, and there's talks of other people as well. And you get the kaiju, the monster kind of dinosaur that you've seen in the trailers. And it's just expected that you believe that. And that's fine. I can walk into that and just accept that. But there's something missing and something lost, I think, where he's not just the only one in there. And the other thing to that is some of the others, particularly Mr. Terrific, who you might not think, but he comes across as more powerful than Superman in certain respects. If you had to pick one of the guys in the film to help you out if you were in trouble, I'd possibly choose Mr. Terrific. He's absolutely fantastic, or terrific. Superman himself seems to go through the film getting beat up constantly over and over and over again. And while there are moments where, yeah, he's strong, you've seen it in trailers where, yeah, he's holding the dinosaur up or he's stopping a building from collapsing. In most cases, he is struggling all the time. And he's not as super as I'd want him to be. Something's just not quite there with that. But on the flip side, he portrays the character in a really normal way. He's not mysterious. He's not serious like the Henry Cavill Snyder versions. He's more just like a regular guy. The way he interacts with these robots, the way he interacts with his dog and other characters in the film when he's out and about. He rolls his eyes, shakes his head, he'll laugh, smile, joke around a little bit. He's just more like me and you. He's more like a normal guy that's got these super abilities. And that's what starts to make this film feel very different. I don't look at him with the same wonder that I did with Christopher Reeve when I was young. I would sit, eyes wide, wishing I could fly, wishing to be somebody like that with that kind of strength. This is just more like a good mate down the road who's got powers. It's very different, and it gives for a film that's great for a family. Kids will like this. But for people like us at our age, maybe this is not for you. But it depends. If you are a comic reader and you've been reading Superman a lot for many years, you'll know about the old Silver Age areas and the Crypto Superdog, whatever it may be. There's lots of that in this film. It fits with that, and it will blow people's minds in that respect. If you're a bit more casual, you will not see these references. You'll wonder about the dog and things like that. Crypto the Superdog, he is great in this, to be fair. He doesn't spoil anything. It's not a stupid idea. He's got a dog, and yeah, it's got abilities, and that causes all sorts of problems because he's a bit of a nightmare, jumping about, messing around, whatever it may be, just like a normal dog would be. But he's great in it. It works well. Superman's alter ego, Clark Kent, is barely in the film, to be fair, and maybe that's not a bad thing. The story itself doesn't really lend to that, but you do get bits of him, and when he does, I think he portrays him quite well, and it's nice. Nothing like Clark Kent in Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve Superman films. Completely different to that. And not quite like the Brandon Routh ones either. So, again, young, normal, just like some guy you'd see in The Office kind of person. Very different in that. The Lois Lane in this is much more gritty, a little bit more like the Superman Returns version, a bit more wanting to get to the crux of things, wanting to get to the truth, not like the Lois Lane from the original, but very good. Good chemistry with Superman. They are clearly in love, with chemistry, happy, right from the get-go. Nothing's explained, no backstories, it's just away you go. But overall, I like the dynamics between the two, and I thought she played her really, really well. We then get the other side characters that I've already mentioned. So Mr. Terrific, we get the Green Lantern, and we get Hawkgirl. For me, I quite liked these, especially Mr. Terrific. I thought he stole some of the scenes really well. He has an amazing action sequence. Some of the Green Lantern things were pretty cool, but Hawkgirl, not really for me at all. Maybe the costume looks pretty cool, but she doesn't really do anything and doesn't add anything to the film. If you took her out of it, wouldn't make any difference in the slightest to a thing. But they're there as kind of just other people that are there and kind of friendly with Superman, but also doing their own thing. It's not overstuffed with characters. They get bits of screen time. You get to like them in different ways. They are part of the story, but you know, looking at the trailers in the early days, thinking there's a lot of things going off in this film, and there is, it's not over-bloating of characters. On the flip of all this, we get Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. He is great. He is super angry and has a real frustration and hatred towards Superman. It's not really explained why he doesn't like him so much. It talks about a little bit like the Bruce Wayne in the Batman v Superman. There's this thread of him being a threat and Lex is maybe wanting to do good by counterbalancing that. He's beyond angry with him all the time. And he plays it great. He's got the script he's been delivered and he does what he can from that and he does it really well. I did like him and he's a genuine threat. He's not scared of Superman in the slightest. We also get the sidekick a little bit like in the old Christopher Reeve film, the Miss Tessmacher, who's, let's say, Lex's love interest. She's super frustrating to me. She does have a point of being there that's unraveled eventually. But man, yeah, it was selfies and modern social media style. And it's not for me. It doesn't gel with me. That's not my thing. But she's there. All this kind of culminates into a story which is straight from the get-go, just non-stop, doesn't take its feet off, barely any quiet moments, and we have some absolutely amazing action. There are some stellar shots and camera work in this. The flying looks incredible. Some of the height effects, where the camera could look down above Superman after he's up in the air, giving a wide overview of what's happening, is just magnificent. He does, on occasions, display this incredible power, and when he does, and he is fighting, and for me more winning rather than losing frequently, that's where it starts to work. And there were moments in the film where I was sat thinking, this is absolutely awesome. But there's also a lot that's just cheesy, but not stupid cheesy. It's really difficult to explain. It's just so different to everything else. You've got to go into this knowing what to expect from it and then make your own mind up from there. So for me, I think I'm going to say, and it's a really tough one, but it's probably like a 7 out of 10 for me. I so much wanted this to be perfect. I knew it wasn't going to be perfect. Nothing tops Christopher Reeve, but I wanted to walk out having that feeling like he is a slightly mysterious, but a very powerful, and embodies the kind of the feeling of wanting to help everybody, which he does, but doesn't at the same time. He's just a normal guy that finds it incredibly tough to win in a lot of battles. The music, though, for me, that is on point. You get lots of the kind of old John Williams style riffs and moments in there, and it's got a modern kind of sound to it, but it is there. You get that Superman sound and feeling from that, and that was really welcome. I wanted that. You just shouldn't change it. I loved the Hans Zimmer one that was in the Henry Cavill versions, but the original is proper Superman, and it's there quite a lot. So that was a good plus side. Should you watch it in cinemas? Yes, absolutely. Go and see it. If you can see it in IMAX, great. It is fantastic to look at. Visually, everything looks absolutely stunning. It is very James Gunn. It's very kind of Guardians of the Galaxy style humor, and it worked well in those films because you've got Rocket and Peter Quill and others, and they are a bit of a slapstick team put together, and it allows for a lot of comedy. Comedy in Superman, I don't mind a little bit. There's too much of it for me, but I think a lot of people liked it at the same time. But as I say, I don't care who plays Superman. I don't really mind what the suit looks like, whether you like the new look, the new colours, the new logo. It doesn't really bother me. Some people comment about his cape being very different looking because it's kind of like a felt material, like a snooker cloth table, as daft as it sounds. You've obviously got the red trunks on the outside. That are big trunks, very much more like the older comic books. But again, it doesn't really bother me. It's what the character portrays. And to me, it's more like a Superboy than a Superman. But that's my view and that's my thoughts on it. Anyway, go and see it. If you like it, leave a comment below. And be interested to know what people think about this. It's a tough one, but it's going to suit some and not others. But until next time, keep smiling, peeps.